Hello there, and welcome to the Selah Entrepreneur Podcast, where we take a look at doing online business a little differently for women over 50. I'm your host, Marta Goertzen, entrepreneur and business owner since 2008, and for far too long, I struggled with trying to figure out what I wanted to be when my business and I grew up. I was tired of buying all the courses and downloading all the freebies, all in the hope that the answer I was longing for would suddenly appear. Turns out, clarity doesn't come in an instant. It's a journey of discovery and finding answers layer by layer. As I took action, I learned what type of work I really loved to do, who I had fun serving, and the problems I loved to help them solve. That clarity gave me the confidence to start designing a simple, sustainable business that I could steward well, and I'd love to help you do the same. If you're ready to find the clarity you're longing for, then you're in the right place. Let's take this journey of discovery together. Welcome to episode 2 of the Selah Entrepreneur Podcast, and today we're going to talk about getting unstuck in business and finding clarity and direction. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I talked a little bit about in episode 1, but when I started my business back in 2008, I started out as a virtual assistant. This was my opportunity to escape the corporate world, a world that was starting to stress me out and was starting to cause all sorts of health problems. Plus the fact that I was using up all my vacation time and sometimes my sick days trying to take care of a couple of family members who were aging and needed extra help, and I just needed the flexibility to be able to adjust my schedule to help them out. What I didn't know at the time is what I really wanted to be. For me, being a virtual assistant was what got me out of the corporate world, got me into a lifelong dream of starting a business. And side note, getting a dog. That's when I finally got a dog because I wasn't gone from home 12 to 15 hours a day. But it was also, I needed that opportunity to take that step to find clarity on what I wanted to be as a business owner. I had planned all sorts of ideas, but until I took action and started to become something in the entrepreneurship world, it was very difficult for me to find that clarity. So I want to share with you a little bit of some of the steps that I've taken along the way and over the years to find clarity and direction in the business that I have today. When you are starting out as an entrepreneur, for many of us, it was out of necessity, like in my situation. Other times it was a necessity because your position was eliminated, or you all of a sudden got to a point where you knew your family needed to have some additional income. So we take what we learned in the corporate world or in a previous job, and we bring that as a translatable skill into entrepreneurship. And that's an incredible place to start. But when you've been in business for a while and you get to, for a lot of the people that I talk to, and I know in my own business, you get to a year about 2, 3, and you realize that actually there's more that you could do. There are things that you could do that you would really love to do. A lot of times when we first start our business, we're starting out with skills that we're really good at, and again, are transferable into the entrepreneur and online support world. But those are things that we had to get good at because that's what we were paid to do. It's a whole nother level to up-level our skills and our abilities and to learn along the way and realize that there are things that you are good at and love to do. And each step of the way, we're looking for clarity as to how do we pivot? How do we make adjustments? How do we find ways to bring what we love to do into the forefront, not just something that we're good at because we have to be. I know for me that when I realized that I was multi-passionate, when if you like Barbara Sher, she calls it a scanner. I have another book that's called The Renaissance Soul, which are great names. Knowing that there was a description for what I was and why I was having trouble finding clarity about what I wanted to be in as an entrepreneur was such a relief. And I hope that helps some of you out there today. That when you are looking for clarity and you're looking for direction in your business, when you have a lot of ideas and you have a lot of passions, a lot of interests, it does make finding clarity a lot harder. The other thing is along the way, as I hired coaches and I took classes, the one thing that I kept asking over and over again was, how do I keep my vision front and center? How do I keep it clear where my business is going and what direction it's headed? What I know now, what I didn't know then, is what I was actually asking was, how do I get clear about what I want to do? Because so often I would set a vision because, again, I was good at it and that's what I got paid to do in my corporate world. So I was using it in entrepreneur world. But because I wasn't passionate about it, because it wasn't something I loved to do, I would lose sight of my vision. I would lose clarity in my direction so fast. And frustratingly, my coaches and the courses that I took, they really couldn't help me. They couldn't give me the answer that I was looking for. And so that became the start of a whole other type of journey of finding clarity and discovering, how do I keep that vision front and center? How do I find clarity? It has been, I will be totally honest, a journey that has been agonizing at times. But what I do know now is that when I look back, it was a journey I had to go through to get me to where I am today, to get me to the business that I'm in today, where I know now that I am stepping into my calling, that I am stepping into work that I love to do, and I'm pretty good at it. And it's stuff that I would not have been ready for what I'm doing today if I had tried it 5-10 years ago. And it took that journey to get to find that clarity, to learn the things that I needed to learn to get me to where I am today. And I share that not to discourage you, because there's a lot of people out there that find that clarity way faster than I did. I just know that my journey had to be the long way around. There were a lot of things that I had to learn. So if I can help shortcut a few things for you along the way and reassure you that it is a journey, I would love to do that. Because I want to encourage you too, that when you do find the clarity, and when I found the clarity of who I am today as a business owner, it has helped me make bigger and bolder decisions that have led me in ways of growing as a person in ways that I could never have imagined. It has given me a filter for decision-making process. There are now things that now that I have some of that clarity I've been longing for so long, a lot of my decisions are faster. Not all of them, but a lot of the big ones are. And it's also helped me identify and say yes to opportunities of different education pieces, groups to get involved in, ways to invest in my business. It's become a filter to make some of those decisions and help me identify them faster. Now, before we jump into these 6 steps, I want to say this isn't a proven framework where I know that if you take step 1 through 6, you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. I don't think there is such a thing when it comes to finding clarity and direction. You may find other coaches and resources that might help shortcut that for you, which is awesome. I just know in my experience, there is not a one-size solution that fits everyone. We all have different experiences. We have different skills. We have different interests. We may have friends who solve similar problems to us, but they have a very unique approach compared to our own. So finding clarity and direction for your business is a journey of discovery. It's uncovering ideas. It's having aha moments. It's taking action. It's seeing possibilities. It's taking more actions. It's getting fuzzy again, but then moving forward in faith and stepping into the calling that's been placed on our hearts. So the first step I want you to consider is that clarity comes through action, not just thinking about it, not just journaling about it, not just wishing for it. One of the first times I heard this particular quote was from Marie Forleo, and she said, "Clarity comes through action, not thought." And it's so very true. I would not be where I am today if I didn't take that first step of starting a virtual assistant business. Even though I knew it was a stepping stone, it was an important stepping stone, and I would not be here today if I hadn't taken that first step. You find that clarity comes through asking deep questions and sometimes having to dig really deep to answer those deep questions. It also comes from seeking wisdom and asking advice from trusted advisors. It is definitely taking action, and then it's assessing the results of that action and making changes as you learn more and take more action steps. It also involves taking some risks, and it's finding what works, what doesn't, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, and it very much includes time of evaluating, and for some of us spending time in prayer and reflection and really taking a look at what we're learning along the way. A quick example is at the end of 2022, I joined a program to learn how to put together a membership program. It was fantastic coaching. It was one of my favorite opportunities that I've taken advantage of in recent years. And by the end of that coaching program, I had a membership that I really wanted to launch. And it's something I'm very passionate about. It's a subject I'm very passionate about, and it revolves around clarity. And I sent out the offer earlier this year. And as soon as that email went out, I knew that the offer was wrong. I was very excited about it. I thought it was so clear about it. But once I took the action step to make the offer, I realized, nope, this is not a membership. This is a course or needs to be incorporated in possibly into the mastermind or into a larger program. Was it a mistake to make that offer? Absolutely not. Was the coaching a mistake? Absolutely not. There's so much valuable clarity that I got through that program that I'm applying to the mastermind and other coaching programs. But that I would not have had the clarity to know what that membership wasn't going to be in this case, if I hadn't made that first offer, if I hadn't taken that risk to take that step and make that offer. Action gives us clarity. Clarity does not come through taking 10 more courses, asking 10 more coaches, and looking for that perfect formula. Trust me, I've looked, it's not out there. Clarity does not come through staying stuck where you are and not trying anything. And again, it does not come for wishing for it or dreaming about it or filling another notebook of journaling about it. A dream without a plan is just a wish, is one of the quotes that comes to mind in this area, is that clarity is a dream if you do not take any action in pursuing it. The second step I want you to consider is that you need to take your next best step. You need to take that first step, then the second and the third, and not jump ahead to step 10. If you have clarity about what your business, and some people may have this, I've never had it, but if I know that I can see the next 10 steps, I might freak out about it because what step 10 looks like right now from step 1 looks terrifying. But if I take step 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, when I get to step 9, step 10 is probably not going to look so scary. We need to take those steps in order from 1 to 10 in order to get to 10 and be ready for it. And then step 3 is really not a step, but a realization. But be okay with clarity becoming fuzzy. When we are clear, it can be so exciting. It is freeing. It is sometimes euphoric because it feels like something you fought for and all of a sudden you found, or you've been on a treasure hunt and you uncovered this buried treasure. But be okay and do not be surprised that you take action and all of a sudden that clarity disappears. This is just part of the journey. It's part of the learning process. And it is definitely a cycle. You seek clarity, you take action, you get excited, you take more action, you lose clarity, you seek clarity all over again, you take action, you get excited, you lose clarity, you seek clarity all over again. It is a cycle, but the only way you can get through it is to take action. And when you take action and then it starts to get a little bit fuzzy again, so you seek advice, you learn more, and you take another action step and you seek clarity again. So please know that this is just part of the journey. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. It's just part of the journey. Step 4 is I want you to consider getting a sounding board, or what I've often called as a personal board of advisors. Some place where you feel safe to ask questions. It could be a biz bestie, it could be a business coach, it could be a community of like-minded women that really understand this crazy entrepreneurial journey. But again, I want you plugged in somewhere where you have the freedom to ask questions, to help get clarity, to express your doubts and your fears and your frustrations, but also just as importantly, a place to go, aha, I got it. I understand it. This worked. This is where I'm headed. And people coming alongside you to cheer you on, encourage you moving forward. Barbara Schurer, the author, has been quoted, and it's in one of her books, says, isolation is the dream killer. And that is so very true. When you are self-employed and you're working from home and you're working remotely, you're working in this little bubble. And when you do not have we don't have an outside connection to help you through this journey, it is so easy for that clarity to get fuzzy, and you either lose it completely or it stays fuzzy for a lot longer than it needs to be. When you're with people who get you, who understand this journey, who are excited for you and are there to fight along with you to help you find that clarity, it makes a huge difference. We all have seasons where business is going really well and we understand what we're doing, things are going well, and we also have seasons where things are not going well. Again, this is just another cycle of being an entrepreneur and being self-employed. You can shorten those cycles, or you can make those seasons easier to bear when you're in community. Step 5 is I want you to stop trying to tackle 500 projects and 500 goals all at once. Again, being a multi-passion entrepreneur, this is something that's so easy for me to do. All of a sudden, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this. My short bio says I'm a never-ending idea gal who wants to try everything. Amazingly, one of the gifts that I have found over the last several years is that clarity has given me the opportunity to stop doing so many things at once. That's not to say that I don't pick up all sorts of random projects along the way because they sound fun. But I'm learning, I'm getting better at saying, nope, that's a project for another time. These are my primary focus projects right now. And this is why, and I understand it. And that is one of the gifts that clarity has given me. It's actually pretty exciting. And also I want you to consider, while you're planning fewer projects, I want you to plan fewer projects in shorter chunks of time. If we have, say, 5 projects and you've got a year to complete them all, while that may sound like that's a lot to do in a year's time, if you are creative, if you love ideas, if you love going down rabbit holes as you chase ideas around, 5 projects over a year-long time, you're going to find gaps in your schedule, and you're going to start picking up random ideas, random projects, and all of a sudden you're going to get back to that 500 project level. For me personally, I find it easier to plan in 30 to 90-day chunks of time because that's enough time to focus on 1 or 2 projects, get them done in a reasonable amount of time without tiring myself out too much, but not leaving enough gaps that all those bright, shiny objects that I'm very susceptible to can be slipped in. When you have some clarity and you're planning fewer projects in a shorter amount of time, it does allow you to be more intentional and more strategic in the projects you do pick up and the ones that you want to pursue. And when you can be more selective in what you're working on, I think for a lot of us, we're going to find clarity, what's working, what's not, instead of trying to tackle 5 projects all at once and being distracted and not being able to get that clarity. Clarity can become very confusing when you're trying 5 things or 500 things at once. And the last thing I want you to consider is I want you to keep what you have learned, your clarity, visible. And for me, I call it a business clarity map. On this map, it's a 1-page sheet, and I know what are my primary goals, who do I serve, what is the problem I solve, how do I solve it, and how are some of the primary services that I currently offer solving that problem for those people. And this has become a living document. This is something that I can pull out during a planning process to remind me. It's become a filter when bright, shiny objects appear. I say, know what? That's a bright, shiny object right now. Or maybe this is a bright, shiny object that really needs my attention now. So one of those other projects needs to fall away or be postponed. But it's become a filter to help me make decisions. It is also something that I need to keep updated on a regular basis. So keeping it handy in a format that I can quickly access and adjust is very important. I do, both personally and in the mastermind, we do a monthly business review, and then we do an in-depth quarterly review. And that's the time to pull out your business clarity map again and make updates and tweak it, update it. What have you learned? What have you gotten clear on? What has gotten a little fuzzy? What maybe are you adding to your plate that you shouldn't right now? And it's kind of helping you, it's making that clarity you had a little bit fuzzier. Each action step you take, each time you take a step forward, or you do take a class that is helping you fill in some of the gaps of of your skills and your experience, you're going to learn something new that helps your vision sharpen and that you get clear about your direction, which in turn helps you be more strategic and more intentional in your business. So as a quick recap, step 1, I want you to remember that clarity comes through action, not just thinking about it, not just dreaming about it, and you're not going to learn anything if you stay frozen in place. 2, make sure that you're taking your next best step and not jumping ahead to step 10 when you're not ready for it yet. Take those steps in order. Be okay. Number 3, I want you to be okay with your clarity becoming fuzzy. This is just part of the journey. This is just the part of being an entrepreneur. Step 4, I want you to find someone or some group that you can connect with to share this journey with. It is so much easier and a lot more fun, honestly, to have somebody that you can talk to and share those frustrations and those doubts, share those wins and have them celebrate with you. It makes the journey of entrepreneurship a lot more fun and a lot more fulfilling. Step number 5, stop trying to tackle 500 projects at once. Pick a few projects that you know that you can do well and that you can really put your best effort into and learn from. When you can focus on a few things, you're going to get clearer a lot faster and you're going to be able to put your best work out there and get better feedback. And then finally, keep your clarity visible. What do you know right now for sure? And for me, again, it's my business clarity map. If you need, make a one-page sheet of what you know right now and refer to it often. I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you some assurance, one, that you're not in this alone, that this is not unusual. Clarity is a journey. I can't emphasize that enough. Clarity allows you to be more strategic, intentional, which is what I hear from a lot of women that they're looking for in their business. And just remember that clarity is a cycle. Entrepreneurship has its seasons. And know that you're not alone. If this is a conversation you would like to have more of, I would invite you to take a look at the Selah Society Mastermind. And this is a place for women who are feeling lonely and isolated and operating their online business at home. They're feeling confused and overwhelmed by all the noise, all the competing views, competing points of views, and social media feeds and email inboxes that are filled with opportunities to buy things that are not going to help, and just there's a lot of noise that we're trying to cut through. And then also this is for a place for women who are really struggling to balance life, health, and family while running a business. If any of this sounds like you and that you would like some help moving through this journey, I invite you again to check out the Selah Society Mastermind. This is a group of women that I have pulled together who get you, will support you, who understand this journey you're on, will help you filter all those ideas, really long to help you find the clarity that allows you to step into your calling. It's a community where you can feel like you belong, where you can make personal connections and get clarity on your business plans and ideas. And we know that business is hard. It's not for the faint of heart, but does it have to be that hard all the time? I don't think so. It gets a lot easier and a lot more fun when you are doing and growing in community. If you dream of a simplified and sustainable business model that you can steward well, then please check out the Selah Society Mastermind at selahstudios.co/mastermind. Thanks for joining me. I hope you found some clarity or an aha moment that inspires you to take some action today. Before you go, could I ask a favor? I would really appreciate it if you could take a few seconds and leave a review of this show in the Apple Podcast app. Your review really does make an impact and helps spread the word about this show and gets it in the hands of other women who are looking to build simple and sustainable businesses of their own. Until next time.